thanks everybody for coming. Please remember to pick up all the handouts on the card outside. A reminder, the game this week is a CBS game, 3:39 kick. It's also on Westwood One national radio. And dog walk will be 1:15.
Thanks, Claude. As we move on to Tennessee, I think this is one of the exciting rivalries in college football. I think when you look over the last 6-7 years, there's been some really tight ball games, some really exciting ball games that some I watched from afar, some I've been a part of. But I got a lot of respect for their program. I think Jerry's doing a good job there. Certainly, being a physical football team, you can see that identity created and what they're trying to create and how they run the ball and what they do. So I think that's important to building a good program, and they're certainly on the right track when it comes to the physicality they're trying to do things with on both sides of the ball. As far as before we take questions, injury reports, I know you guys want to know all that stuff. Jackson Harris should be back this week, ready to practice and play. Ben Cleveland will be out with the left fibula fracture. Not sure how long that'll be. He'll be on crutches for a week, and then he'll be back weight bearing after that. Monty Rice is expected back. He had an MCL sprain. He practiced last week. He just didn't feel like he could go in the game. We're hoping to get him back, hoping he's recovered some. Not sure how long Tyler will be out with his shoulder. May not be, it may be a week, maybe 2 weeks. It may not be, maybe less. We don't know. We're going to see what he can do today. We'll find a lot more out about that. And then Andrew Thomas was no worse off with the ankle. Felt like he probably could have gone back in if he had to in an emergency, but he's no worse off, so he should be able to practice today. I think that's all the major injury guys. For that, I'll open it up.
Raise your hand. Do you have a question?
Kirby, you're talking about Jeremy trying to build an identity. I don't know if you can see on film or what identity he's trying to build. And I guess the second part of that is he's coming into this game off a game where kind of nothing went right. I mean, 6 turnovers, fumbling through the end zone. You came into this game your first year, 2 years ago, coming off that Ole Miss game where not much went right. What do you say to your kids after games like that when first-year coaches have a lot of optimism, but you're also balancing patience and stuff like that?
Well, I don't know what he says to him. That's really his department. We're really concerned about us. We've got enough issues and holes and things we got to fix. We didn't play with the right kind of physicality in the last game, and we're certainly concerned with us. I think anytime you turn the ball over 6 times, he'll be the first to tell you it doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure it out. You're not going to win many games when you do that, and that's what football starts with: protecting the ball and attacking the ball. And without those turnovers, it's probably a different game.
And what about his identity? Have you seen it?
Yeah, I see the physicality they're trying to run the ball with and stop the run. I mean, there's no question that they're creating identity, and you can tell the way they're committed to the run. Each game they've gone up with the number of runs they've had. I think that's an important part of football. You got to be able to do that. And we didn't exactly do what we needed to do to stop the run last week or run the ball. So that's my concern is us. My concern is not Tennessee's identity.
Coach, I was wondering if you could follow up on the Tyson Campbell injury, and then my question is about the first down production on the run against your defense. How much of that is scheme versus assignment execution?
I'll go back to the second one, so I'm not sure I understand it, but the first one, Tyson should be fine. Tyson had a subluxed shoulder, but he was fine after that. He ended up getting dehydrated and started, throwing up and got sick. We had to IV him, and he was able to come back in the game. It just didn't happen where he came back in the game, except for the play that Bate was injured. But Tyson should be fine. And as far as the other one, first down, you're talking about the number of first downs converted by the run?
No, the opponent's first down run. The opponents are getting yardage gouging on first down runs against your defense.
Yeah, last week certainly I felt that way, but I don't think overall it's that way. We didn't play the run real good last week, and that's what we pride ourselves on. And we got to do a better job of attacking the run, of playing the run. At the end of the day, stopping the run is an attitude and a disposition you create within your team. And we didn't have that real good. In the previous games, I didn't think it was a major problem. We weren't trying to stop the run. A lot of times on Middle Tennessee, it was a different kind of game. We didn't stop the run against Missouri. I'll be the first to admit that.
Swift and Holyfield each had personal highs for carries. What have you learned so far about their ability to handle bigger workloads than they've had before?
I think we're still learning that. I think they're both good backs. They're tough backs. our receivers being able to handle some carries and get some carries to help spread that weight out. But with what Swift and Holyfield have done, I think both those kids have been productive, tough, physical, good pass protectors. They've protected the ball well. They've had explosive runs. We got to continue to help them. I mean, we got to try to get them in favorable situations to run the ball, and they've done a good job of that.
Coach DeAndre Walker, it's easy to see he can put some good pressure on the passer. How's he playing overall? What has been your view of his progress and how he's contributing to the defense?
I think DeAndre's grown into this role. I thought he had his best game before he's played last week. I would have expected nothing less because he's a leader on our team. He's a very motivated kid. He plays so hard. It's important to him. He still has room for improvement. He'll be the first to tell you he had some missed assignments in the game that he didn't do what he was supposed to do. He didn't play with discipline. But overall, he had a very productive game, mainly because of how hard he plays. And he's a tough, good football player, winner that probably a lot of people have overlooked throughout his career because he's behind other guys. But he had a good game the other day. And certainly appreciate the production he had in the game because he's a when you ask other coaches, he's learned a lot.
Kirby, you said after the game about the discipline that you'll get it fixed. What's kind of your plan for that and regarding the touchdowns dropping it before the end zone? How are you addressing that?
Well, I think we'll address it in practice. We'll handle it internally, and it's not really for public consumption. I think that's important. I think important things that we get it fixed. I mean, how many times is something got to happen? But it's not something that you don't talk about. You talk about it, you confront it, you demand, and a lot of times I'm a big believer that leadership on the team has to do that. It doesn't just come from me. It comes from every player on the team buying in. That's important. And I can assure you that neither kid that did that, that was their thought process if they were running down the field. I'm going to drop this ball near the goal line. It's just a lack of respect for the ball and a lack of respect for your teammates, which you can't have.
When it comes to Tyler Simmons, if it does come up to be a situation where he has to miss some time, what guys are just trying to figure out the receiver situation? What guys are kind of in a position to play that same spot, the same role that may be able to kind of you're looking to step up for that spot?
Well, a lot. Trey Blunt, J.J. Holloman, Jason Stanley, Demetrius Robertson. I mean, all the guys that are playing. We're playing a lot of guys at wideout guys. I mean, there's a lot of guys playing there. So you just take the first 3 games and say, look at all these guys that have played. Could be one of any of those 9, 10 Madlanders. I mean, there's a lot of guys that can go in there and play, and we'll certainly be looking at all those guys if Tyler's unavailable.
Same kind of question related to right guard. Number one, how did you feel Ben was playing this year? And Justin Schaefer went in. Will it be him or Kendall Baker's there? Maybe some other options.
Yeah, we're going to evaluate that through 2-3 days of work. The good thing is we get to get a lot of good on good work this week. We'll explore all those options. I thought that Ben Cleveland was playing really well. He was playing fast. He's finally comfortable. He was moving around. He had gotten Player of the Week there 1 week for Coach Pittman. Was doing a good job and was picking things up. Was very confident. You can kind of see the maturation process of the last 2 years of what all he's been through to get to the point he was. So you hate to see that injury, especially from a continuity part of him and Isaiah being there together. But to tell you who will be there, it'll come out of competition. Schaefer was the guy that went in because he had practiced and he was ready to go with that position. Kendall will get an opportunity there to look. We'll also look the possibility of Cade working there with Andrew being back at left tackle if that comes to be. So we'll look to get our best 5 in, and to be honest, you got to have 7 or 8 ready, just like you had to play multiple guys in every game. You could Andrew or Ben, so we'll have to have 7 or 8 guys ready.
Kirby, Jake's completion percentage is up about 10% from a year ago. What have you seen that he's done to improve that area?
Well, I think he's able to make quicker, smarter decisions. He processes information really quick. He understands what defenses are trying to do. He's in his 2nd year in our system. He's got more experience in wideouts. We had good wideouts last year, but the kids this year, there's a bigger body of work. So they've made some plays for him too. You look at last year, I know early, Miko had a couple of drops. He had a couple of things that they're catching the ball better now. And I don't think it was that he was less accurate last year. Some of them weren't called. He understands where the check down is. He knows how to use the tools that are around him.
Hands up.
Coach, when you have these injuries like Andrew and Ben go down, what's the importance of Lamont, in his role to kind of, keep everybody level there?
I think he's the rock. You got one guy in there, and that's always one of the toughest positions to replace, is that position. That's the cog, that's the voice, that's the leader, that's the guy that handles it all. Lamont's done a good job of that, communicating across the board, different fronts, different movements, different looks. He's the guy that leads that group through vocal and through kind of being the guy that's done it the most. So it's important to have him part of it, but all that stuff factors in. Continuity is really important in the offensive line, and whether Andrew's beside Solly or Cade beside Solly, that guy in the middle is one of the centerpieces, and he's done a good job leading that group.
Coach, I know that Tennessee's quarterback, Kirby Smart, didn't come back in. There's a couple quarterbacks to prepare for. How different is Tennessee's offense with Garantano in versus Kyler Chris from what you've seen on film?
Not a whole lot different. I think the other kid has the ability to take off running. Now, Chris has had some runs as well. He's done some, whether it's by design or by accident, he's had a couple times he had to run it. They're both capable of doing that. We don't see a whole lot of difference in the two of those guys and what they'll do with those guys. But again, a lot of that's out of our hands.
Last year, you guys in crunch time it seemed like you played 4 tight ends just about every game, and this year that number's been kind of reduced to 2 with the injury to Jackson. How much does getting him back potentially impact you guys and what you're able to, how diverse you're able to be in the run game?
Well, I mean, it depends on his health and how much he can handle stamina-wise and what he can do and how caught up he is on the offense. He certainly should have a good understanding of it, having played in it for a couple of years. And Luke Ford and John both continue to grow, so we're trying to grow those guys. And a lot of these young players on our team, we feel like are getting better week by week and getting closer and closer to an opportunity to go in and compete. And as they get a little experience on special teams, a little more experience, good on good in practice, they're getting closer to helping us as well.
Kirby, I know when you were at Alabama, you had your share of non-offensive touchdowns. You're doing that again this year. How demoralizing are non-offensive touchdowns for opposing teams?
Well, I think Coach Tucker would be the first to tell you, it's like some stat, 80–90% of the teams that have a non-offensive touchdown, they usually win the game. And those are very impactful, hard to overcome those emotionally because there's sometimes a shock. But at the end of the day, they happen. They happen on special teams, they happen on defense, and whether they happen to you or for you, it's the next play that matters. It's not that play. So a lot of it is overcoming adversity and how you're built within your program to overcome things like that.
Kirby, how's Tyreek McGee playing as he comes further away from his injury?
He's able to sustain longer. Thought that this last game he played more snaps than he has in the past. I still think he's getting some of the rust off. He'd be the first to tell you he didn't play his best game the other day, but he understood what to do. He's a good leader. This kid practices really hard, really tough. We have to be smart with him because volume affects him, and we got to be smart about the amount of volume we take.
Other questions?
What concerns you the most about this upcoming game? I know you I heard the word physical used a lot. Is that the point of emphasis this week after the Missouri?
No, the biggest thing for us is us, and we've got to really concern ourselves with that. I mean, I think perception out there is some people look at Tennessee and say certain things. I look at Tennessee and say that's a really well-coached, hard-nosed, fundamental football team that's coming in here off a situation where they had, however many turnovers they had. So the focus for our players is this is always a tough physical game. It's always this kind of way. It's been close for years, and we got to worry about us. We got to go correct our mistakes and our problems and make sure that we got our stuff tightened up so that we can play the best we can play.
Kirby, after looking at the film from the Missouri game and their ability to run, how would you assess the play of the defensive line, and was it problematic in that area as far as stopping the run?
The run is never you don't ever say, well, the defensive line's no good, they rushed for 180 yards. I mean, there's a coordinated fit. Well, we didn't do well, we didn't close, we didn't strike, we didn't knock off blockers, we didn't tackle well. So that secondary linebackers, a lot of the D linemen aren't in on the tackles. They're the glue that holds things together on the inside. We didn't play the way we're capable of playing. And we also put our guys in some tough runs position because we knew we had to not give up the big play in the pass game. So you play games certain ways, you change things up, you change your strategy so the other team doesn't know what you're doing all the time. And a lot of the rushing yards had to do with that. A lot of them had to do with unwillingness to strike people. And if you don't strike people, you won't stop the run in our league. You will not stop the run in our league. So you got to strike people and be physical up front in order to do it.
Last question, anybody?